Swadika, and thank you for joining us for the morning edition of NBT World Brief. You're with me, Thira Kalsan. Prime Minister Anutin Chanwirakul has ordered a formal investigation into an alleged civil service exam cheating scandal involving local government recruitment, promising swift action and regular progress updates. Prime Minister and Interior Minister Anutin Chanwirakul has signed an order establishing a fact-finding committee to investigate alleged fraud in the 2025 recruitment examination for local government officials. The committee must provide progress reports every 10 days and submit its findings to the Prime Minister within 30 days. The order follows evidence suggesting that government officials, exam contractors, and other individuals may have worked together to manipulate examination scores as part of an organized scheme. The committee will also recommend measures to prevent similar fraud in future government recruitment exams, including possible amendments to relevant laws and regulations. It has the authority to summon government officials, request documents and evidence, consult outside experts, and establish subcommittees if needed.
ทุกหน่วยงานก็ทำในขอบเขตอำนาจหน้าที่ของเขาเป็นคู่ขนานกันไปสุดท้ายยังไงก็ตามข้อมูลทั้งหลายก็จะต้องมาบรรจบอยู่ที่คณะกรรมการสอบสวนข้อเท็จจริงนะครับมันก็จะได้ข้อมูลที่แน่นขึ้นนะครับแล้วมันก็เป็นการทำให้เกิดความมั่นใจว่าไม่มีการวิ่งเต้นไม่มีการช่วยเหลือไม่มีการซูเอียกันอย่างแน่นอนเพราะเราใช้หน่วยงานแต่ละหน่วยงานที่มีความเป็นหน่วยงานป้องกันปราบปรามมีอำนาจในการดำเนินคดี
The Senate has approved a bill to transfer more than 10.3 billion baht into the government's central budget, saying the funds will strengthen the country's ability to respond to emergencies, natural disasters, and economic uncertainty. Thailand's Senate has approved a bill authorizing the transfer of more than 10.3 billion baht to the government's central budget. The legislation had already passed the House of Representatives and now moves to the final stage before becoming law. Minister attached to the Prime Minister's office, Paradon Prisananantakul, said the transfer is needed to strengthen the government's emergency reserve fund. He cited global uncertainties, including conflict in the Middle East, which has driven up energy prices and increased pressure on Thailand's economy. The funds come from budget items that have not yet been spent, have no contractual commitments, or can be deferred. They will be used to respond to emergencies, security threats, natural disasters, economic impacts, and public assistance needs. He said the government would use the funds transparently, ensure they are open to scrutiny, and not use the budget for political purposes. The bill passed to the Senate 146-4 with 20 abstentions and one senator not voting. Investor confidence in Thailand's stock market has surged to a red-hot level, driven by government economic stimulus measures, easing tensions in the Middle East, and expectations of continued foreign capital inflows. The Federation of Thai Capital Market Organizations says its investor confidence index for June rose sharply, reflecting a much more optimistic outlook for the Thai stock market over the next 3 months. Chairman Paibu Nalintarangkul said investor sentiment has climbed into the Federation's highest confidence category, or red hot. Now, he attributed the improvement to easing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, continued foreign fund inflows into Thailand's capital markets, and clearer government measures to stimulate the economy. However, he warned that several risks remain, including concerns over a slowdown in Thailand's domestic economy, ongoing geopolitical conflicts in other regions, and the possibility that higher business costs could weigh on the earnings of listed companies. The survey also found that the fashion sector was the least attractive industry for investors, reflecting a shift towards sectors considered more resilient and better positioned to benefit from the broader economic recovery. Looking ahead, he said Thailand's capital market will continue to rely on supportive government policies, especially efforts to inject money into the grassroots economy and attract more foreign investment while navigating uncertainty from external factors. The Consumer Protection Agency says it helped consumers recover more than 23 million baht over the past 2 months, while advancing new legislation to strengthen protection for buyers of defective products. Minister attached to the Prime Minister's office, Supamat Isarapakdi, announced the latest results from the Office of the Consumer Protection Board, or OCPB, following a meeting of the Consumer Protection Board. Between May and June, the agency received 8,465 consumer complaints, with most involving online shopping. The OCPB secured more than 23 million baht in compensation for consumers through ongoing legal action, court rulings, and negotiated settlements. The board also approved 33 new civil lawsuits against businesses accused of violating consumer rights, involving claims worth more than 6 million baht. Most of the cases relate to real estate disputes, followed by general consumer services and online sales.
จากรายงานสถิติและก็ผลการดำเนินงานในรอบ2 เดือนที่ผ่านมานะคะเราพบว่าสคบได้มีเรื่องร้องทุกข์เข้ามาถึง 8,000 กว่ารายนะคะซึ่งตัวเลขนี้เนี่ยเป็นสิ่งที่สะท้อนให้เห็นว่าประชาชนมองเห็นสคบเป็นที่พึ่งนะคะแล้วก็โลกปัจจุบันในโลกดิจิตอลเนี่ยการซื้อขายสินค้าเกิดขึ้นได้ง่ายแล้วก็ประชาชนเนี่ยถือว่าได้เผชิญหน้ากับไทยแล้วก็ความเสี่ยงที่ซับซ้อนขึ้นทุกวันนะคะงานผู้บริโภคจะทำหน้าที่แบบตั้งรับต่อไปไม่ได้อีกแล้วนะคะ
The meeting also reviewed progress on Thailand's proposed lemon law, which has already passed its first reading in Parliament. The legislation would require businesses to take responsibility for defective products or goods that fail to match their advertised claims, giving consumers stronger legal protection. The annual SIAM tulip season is now in full bloom, drawing visitors to CHAIYAPHUM province, where colorful wildflowers are expected to remain on display through August. Fields of SIAM tulips, locally known as Dok Kratio, are now blooming across more than 32 hectares at Pa Hin Ngam National Park in CHAIYAPHUM province. Park officials say this year's bloom is one of the most spectacular in recent years, with abundant flowers covering the landscape amid cool weather and morning mists. Now, the best time to visit is early in the morning, when visitors can also enjoy panoramic views from the park's viewpoint, overlooking the mountain range that marks the boundary between Thailand's central and northeastern regions. The viewpoint sits more than 800 meters above sea level. The annual SIAM Tulip Festival is being held at both Pa Hin Ngam National Park and Sai Thong National Park in CHAIYAPHUM province. The parks will remain open for visitors to enjoy the flower fields and surrounding nature through August 31st. And that wraps up our morning news report. Stay updated with the latest developments, and for more stories, simply scan the QR code on your screen to access our full coverage across all media platforms. Until next time, สวัสดีค่ะ